Well, hello and welcome to this midday market mood check with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague Yatin, Mota. Well, Yatin, the good part is that the markets are trading higher. The good part is that it is above that 17,850 mark. Yesterday also, even though it was a seesaw kind of a session, we were very flat, but we managed to shut shop above that 17,800 mark, and today we are just taking it forward and are hovering around that 17,850 mark. But it's all about results today, given the fact that most of these large cap companies like HUL, in fact, just reported its numbers a few minutes ago. We have the likes of Axis Bank, Wipro, Tech Mahindra. All of these counters will be reporting numbers today, so we will be watching out for that. But let's talk about HUL first. Disappointment coming in when it comes to earnings. Volume growth was below estimates. Profit margins, all of them were largely below estimates.
So, Nandita, if you look at the full year FY23, HUL did a volume growth of 5%, but this quarter the expectation was that the volume growth could be as high as 6%. According to the CNBC TV18 poll, but the fourth quarter volume growth was only 4%. So it was much below expectations. If you look at the EBITDA also on an absolute basis, it missed the estimates by 150 crores. So yes, HUL there is some margin pressure because of inflationary concerns. The management says that the near-term outlook is slightly volatile, but in the longer term to medium term, management does expect the volume growth to return. We also have key commodity costs which have come down for the company. So gradually we could see some price correction in HUL's products, which will drive volume growth. So now, it's the game of volume and not price. And probably the markets did not like the results. Almost 1.5–2% down for HUL last time I checked.
Yeah, the presser will also be taking place in some time. So, management commentary will be awaited, and of course, even the fact that, it's the last earnings call for Sanjeev. So, Rohit Java will be taking over from June. So, a change in strategy or something to that effect in the commentary will be watched out for. Aside of that, as I mentioned, Axis Bank will be reporting earnings. The city integration costs may hurt bottom line, and that is why Axis is expected to report a loss.
I don't think so. They could, write off, such a big amount from the city acquisition. But if they write off, then that figure will be watched out for. But the core bank earnings will be strong, Nandita.
Will be strong,
So, barring these adjustments and write-off, which are, probably non-cash in nature, you are writing off essentially goodwill for the city acquisition. I don't think so that has a material impact on the bank's overall.
Because we've already had good numbers from ICICI and HDFC Bank, so there is no other issue, and asset quality will also remain stable, if you look at it from a quarter-on-quarter basis. So that's another thing. But aside of that, Wipro will be reporting earnings, but the key to watch out for will be the buyback and what route they will take to come out with the buyback. Either it will be a tender route or via the open market. So those details are awaited when it comes to Wipro. A lot of mid-cap IT earnings have come out. KPIT Tech was one. It was up and about. Earnings were pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. You have L&T Technologies. That stock was up 7% on the back of good earnings.
They gave
20% or so.
Organic, inorganic revenue.
But it was another one, Coforge, that was not doing all that well, because I think profits have dropped over 40%, and even though revenues have been pretty stable. So that is one stock.
So the drop in the reason for Coforge profit is that they are giving 21,000 iPads to all of their employees, because they completed a $1 billion revenue and the costs related to that were close to 80 crores. The guidance was good. In fact, the stock is up and above 4,000 rupees. And yes, there were one-off costs because of which celebratory costs, if I may call it so, because of which there was some pressure in the profitability.
But otherwise I think the stock is pretty okay, but compared to other mid-cap IT firms, maybe the profit drop could be looked as a dampener due to one-off.
Another stock, Nandita, to watch out for, since we were speaking about HUL, is Godrej Consumer. Today they have a press conference and news reports are suggesting that they would buy the FMCG business of Raymond. And Raymond, that stock is up nearly 40% in the last 1 month. Today also the stock is up 8%. So yes, both of these consumer names also will be in focus.
Right, let's also look at some other mid-cap companies then. City Union Bank was up because the MD and CEO has got an extension of another 10 years, and aside of that, I think we've 3 years, of course.
Not 10.
I think I just got mixed up with something. So yeah, 3 years of course. And aside of that, I think we've spoken about all the other earnings candidates. Bajaj Finance, I want to obviously flag off,
Yes.
because strong profit growth, 30%. Margins have contracted, but that was largely on expected lines. And in fact, brokerages have also maintained their bullish or whatever the stance that they have.
Correct.
Already overweight stance from Morgan Stanley, and outperform stance from CLSA, even though margins could be a pain point going forward, and CLSA is a little cautious on that front. So aside of that, I think if you look at other gainers in today's session, Bajaj Twins were of course dominating the Nifty gainers list. You had UPL, SBI Life has got good numbers, and on the back of that, it was doing well. On the other hand, HDFC Life was among the top losers, given the fact that it has reported a muted set of numbers in the quarter gone by. Aside of that, in the second half, aside of all the earnings, anything else that we should expect in tomorrow's session? What is the big earning tomorrow?
So, not a lot of earnings tomorrow, but yes, post the market hours, we have Axis Bank and they will be reporting numbers post market. So, the reaction would come in probably tomorrow. We also have Ultratech Cement. Those earnings will be watched out for. And a few IT names and few small cap banks which will be reporting their numbers, but no big Nifty company is expected to report numbers tomorrow.
And of course, it's going to be a truncated week next week, because Monday is a holiday, so that's something we're looking forward to. But aside of that, I think the Fed meeting also takes center stage next week, and expectations are that the Fed will be hiking rates by 25 basis points. Don't forget that First Republic Bank reported earnings this week, and all the concerns over banking issue in US were laid to rest, but it's once again come to the fore, given the fact that First Bank has lost over $100 billion in deposits, flight of deposits, and that is again a point of concern, because the stock has lost say 50 to 60% in a matter of a couple of sessions. So Fed meet will take center stage, and we will be watching out for the future rate trajectory that the Fed lays down in its press conference, and of course we will of course be watching out for what the RBI does after what the Fed does. So I think this covers our midday market mood check. We've covered most of the stocks that were buzzing in trade. But for more updates and all your other financial news updates, stay tuned to Moneycontrol.